Hello, my name is Lesli Myers, and I'm the Assistant Superintendent for Student Services here in the Ithaca City School District. Of my varied responsibilities, one of the things that I'd like to share with you is the Code of Conduct. The Code of Conduct, first and foremost, outlines provisions for dress, language, and then civil and respectful interactions among students, faculty, staff, caregivers, and also visitors to each of our schools. The Code of Conduct also must outline standards and procedures to assure the safety and security of both students and adults in our schools. We also must include a Code of Conduct procedures for reporting VADR, violent and disruptive incident reports, that occurs in each one of our schools, and we have to ensure that our Code of Conduct aligns with federal, state, and then local requirements. And our Code of Conduct follows all of those provisions. The dress code, for example, was modified to include more specific language, to add an additional category entitled footwear, and then there's also administrative guidelines for our administrators who are responsible for enforcing the codes. Additionally, another major change involves the use of electronic devices. Our district, as we're incorporating more usage of 21st century skills and technology, it would be incredibly important and helpful and useful to ensure that electronic devices could be used under the careful watch and monitoring of an educator. So students are allowed to use electronic devices during the school day if they have educational use and they're monitored by an adult. Next, the gun and weapon-free portion of the Code of Conduct was modified to allow school administrators, the principals in this case, to have more discretion around weapons if they're brought to school. They have to base it on the developmental level, potential intent of the student, and then also just the background of the student. And we felt that that would be really important to incorporate those changes into the Code of Conduct. Our school bus conduct section of the Code of Conduct was also modified, and that was led under the direction of Mr. James Ellis, who is the Director of Transportation. He worked with his colleagues, the bus drivers, to solicit feedback to ensure that the Code of Conduct for school buses aligned and fit nicely in with the language of the Code of Conduct. And then there was also new language to make recommendations for what would occur after a first, second, and third offense. And then finally, a major change in the Code of Conduct is around tobacco use. And as we know, that is problematic with young people, not only locally, but regionally, as well as across the state and the nation. And so our Code of Conduct was modified under the direction of Ms. Judy Hoffman, our head nurse, to ensure that tobacco use was not permitted on campus, anywhere on our surrounding campus, by both students and adults. And so it's very clearly outlined what the expectations are for students and adults. So those are just some of the major changes that are involved with the Code of Conduct. We again will be forming committees in the spring and soliciting feedback. And as always, if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to contact me either via email. I can be reached at lmyers, M-Y-E-R-S, and the number 3 at icsd.k12.ny.us, or you can phone me at area code 607-274-2251. Thank you.